Greetings. In this lesson, you will learn about the relative pronouns and the relative clause. You will see how the relative clause is an adjectival clause that modifies the antecedent. You will also learn that the role of the relative pronoun, the connector, is to join the relative clause with the antecedent. Relative pronouns are the most commonly used connectors in Arabic to produce longer, cohesive utterances. Based on the ILR, relative pronouns are very important devices in producing, at least, the needed minimally cohesive Arabic utterances as required at proficiency level 2. In English, connectors such as that, which, who, whom, whose, when, and where are used to join an antecedent with a relative clause. Each one of them is suitable for the grammatical function and the nature of the antecedent, or to modify its place or time by the following relative clause. Let's review English examples before we see how relative pronouns work in Arabic. In this sentence, you can notice that the connector that links the inanimate antecedent, the book, which also functions as the object in the sentence. Then, the relative clause in this sentence follows to modify or to describe the object, the book, by identifying it as the one that was bought last week. In this sentence, you can notice that the connector, who, is suitable for the animate antecedent, the teacher, which also functions as the subject in the sentence. Then, the relative clause in this sentence follows to describe or to modify the subject, the teacher, by identifying her or him as the one who started yesterday. In this sentence, you can notice that the connector, whose, modifies the antecedent, the student, as the owner of the book in the relative clause, book is with me. Then, the relative clause in this sentence follows to modify the antecedent, which is the student, by identifying her or him to be the owner of the book that the speaker has. Now, although Arabic connectors, known as the relative pronouns, function in a similar fashion as they do in English, the rules for when to use each pronoun are based on different factors. These factors in Arabic are the gender and the number of the antecedent, and they are used to connect antecedent with the following relative clause. Let's review them quickly before we start discussing some examples. I will start at the top from right to left, and then the bottom row also from right to left. First, alladhi is suitable only for a singular masculine antecedent. Allati is suitable for a singular feminine antecedent. Alladhani or alladhaini is suitable for a dual masculine antecedent. Allatani or allataini is suitable for a dual feminine antecedent. Alladhina is suitable for a masculine plural antecedent. Allati, allai, or allawati is suitable for a feminine plural antecedent. Let's see them used in context, starting with the simplest, the singular masculine alladhi. The antecedent in this sentence is the Arabic word at-tabib, which means the doctor. Since this word is grammatically considered to be a singular masculine subject in the antecedent, notice that the relative clause, alladhi, is also a singular masculine. Now, notice that the verb and the subject in the relative clause are also singular masculine. This process of matching the gender and the number is a cohesive technique to cement all parts of such sentences. In conclusion, the antecedent, the relative pronoun, and the subject of the relative clause have to match in both number and gender. The following are more examples for using الذي to connect the singular masculine subject in the antecedent with a modifying relative clause. Notice that the words المهندس, الذي, and the subject in the relative clause are all singular masculine. This subject is understood to be huwa by the way the verb bana is conjugated in the past. وصل المهندس الذي بنى المصنع. The architect who built the factory has arrived. The same in this sentence. Notice the words الجار, الذي, and the subject of the relative clause, which is understood by the way the verb ذهب is conjugated. The neighbor who went to Kuwait has returned. The sentence in Arabic عاد الجار الذي ذهب إلى الكويت. فرح الطالب الذي نجح في الامتحان. The same in this example. Notice the words الطالب, الذي, and the subject of the relative clause, which is understood by the way the verb نجح is conjugated, are all referring to a singular masculine. The student who passed the test rejoiced. Now, in the following 4 slides, we'll see how all the 3 parts of this sentence will change suitably for all the different numbers and both genders of the subject in the antecedent. فرح الطالبان اللذان نجحا في الامتحان. The same in this example. Notice the words الطالبان, اللذان, and the subject of the relative clause, which is understood by the way the verb نجح is conjugated, are all referring to a dual masculine. The translation of the sentence is, the 2 students who passed the test rejoiced. فرحت الطالبتان اللتان نجحتا في الامتحان. Notice the words الطالبتان, اللتان, and the subject of the relative clause, which is understood by the way the verb نجحتا is conjugated, are all referring to a dual feminine. The translation is the same, but this time for 2 female students. فرح الطلاب الذين نجحوا في الامتحان. Now, what do you think the number and the gender of the antecedent are? Think. Look at the antecedent, the relative pronoun, and the relative clause. Do you know by now? Yes, exactly. They are all in the plural masculine. Notice the words الطلاب, الذين, and the way the verb is suffixed by the plural واو, واو الجماعة. فرحت الطالبات اللاتي نجحن في الامتحان. What about this sentence? Can you figure this one out too? Exactly. They are all in the plural feminine. Notice the words الطالبات, اللاتي, اللائي or اللواتي, and how the verb in the relative clause is suffixed by the plural feminine nun, nun and nuswa. هذان هما الطالبان اللذان قابلتهما في الحفلة. The relative is mostly used as the object in the relative clause that refers back to the head noun or the subject in the antecedent. The relative is a pronoun or pronoun suffix that refers back to the antecedent, and it must agree with it in the number and the gender. In this example, notice that الطالبان, اللذان, and the relator هما suffixing the verb قابلتهما are all suitable for a dual masculine. Also, notice that the word الطالبان is the recipient of the verb's action in the relative clause. The literal translation is, these are the two students whom I met them in the party. Them here is the literal translation of the realtor in the Arabic sentence. هذا هو الطالب الذي تحدثت معه أمس. Notice in this example that the realtor suffixes the preposition after the verb, and it does not suffix the verb itself. Also, as in the last example, الطالب is the object and the recipient of the verb action in the relative clause. The literal translation for this sentence is, this is the student whom I talked with him yesterday. Him is a literal translation for the required realtor in an equivalent Arabic sentence. Better English is, this is the student whom I talked with yesterday. Let's review some more examples to see if you will be able to recognize the gender and the number on your own. هؤلاء هم الجنود الذين قابلتهم أمس. Very important to notice that the realtor has to match the antecedent in both gender and number. Okay? Have you recognized the gender and the number in this sentence? Yes, masculine plural. Notice that al-junud, الذين, and the relator whom appended to the verb قابلتهم are all suitable for a masculine plural noun. The English translation for this sentence is, these are the soldiers whom I met yesterday. Or literally, these are the soldiers whom I met them yesterday. هاتان هما الطالبتان اللتان كافأهما الأستاذ أمس. What about this one? Yes, dual feminine. In this example, notice that الطالبتان, اللتان, and the realtor هما appended to the verb كافأ are all suitable for a dual feminine. The English translation is, these are the two female students whom the teacher awarded yesterday. Or, literally, these are the two female students whom the teacher awarded them yesterday. زرت المريض الذي عالجه الطبيب أمس. Now try to find out the gender and the number in this last one. All right. Singular masculine. Notice that in maridu, الذي, and the relator who at the end of the verb عالجه are all suitable for a singular masculine. Also notice that the realtor is the object in the relative clause and it refers back to the antecedent. English translation is, I visited the patient whom the doctor treated yesterday. Or literally, I visited the patient whom the doctor treated him yesterday. Excellent. All right. To wrap it up, let's practice what we learned today. In the following sentences, fill the blanks with the suitable words. then translate each sentence into English. Now remember, the relative pronoun and the subject or realtor in the relative clause have to match the antecedent in both gender and number. Also, if the verb in the relative clause is followed by a preposition, then the realtor suffixes the preposition and not the verb. قرأت الكتاب blank اشتريت blank الأسبوع الماضي. Now in this sentence, what would you use in each blank? What would be the suitable word to use in the first blank to match the word al-kitab? In the second blank, we need a realtor that functions as an object in the relative clause and matches the head noun in number and gender at the same time. Yes, great. قرأت الكتاب الذي اشتريته الأسبوع الماضي. The suitable relative pronoun here is the word الذي, and the suitable realtor for the second blank is the pronoun suffix who at the end of the verb اشترى, for the whole word to become اشتريته. Literally it means I read the book that I bought it last week. Better English is, I read the book that I bought last week. Now, in the next sentence, what would you use in each blank? قفلت الباب blank فتحت blank منذ قليل. In this sentence, what should we use in the first blank that would match the word al-bab? In the second blank, we need a realtor that functions as an object in the relative clause and to be suitable for the antecedent al-bab. Right? Think. Yes. Great. قفلت الباب الذي فتحته منذ قليل. The suitable relative pronoun here is الذي, and the second blank should get the realtor who as a suffix pronoun in the word فتحته. Literally it means I closed the door that I had opened it a few minutes ago. Better English is I opened the door that I had opened few minutes ago. Now try again to fill the blanks in the next sentence. سألت الطالبين blank خرج blank من الامتحان. In this sentence, what would be suitable in the first blank that would match the word الطالبين? In the second blank, we need to suffix the verb خرج with a suitable pronoun that matches the dual masculine antecedent الطالبين. سألت الطالبين اللذين خرجا من الامتحان. Did you find out? Yes. Great. سألت الطالبين اللذين خرجا من الامتحان. The suitable relative pronoun in the first blank is اللذين, and the suitable pronoun for the second blank is the dual alif, and the word becomes خرج. Literally it means I asked the two students who came out from doing the test. Proper or better English, I asked the two students who has just finished the test. Excellent. Next. وصل blank, and you need an Arabic word for student. الذين خرجوا من الامتحان. What is the suitable and proper word in Arabic to replace the shown English word student. You got it? Great. وصل الطلاب الذين خرجوا من الامتحان. In this sentence, the suitable word should be masculine plural. Notice the relative clause الذين and the plural واو الجماعة suffixing the verb خرج in the relative clause. Then the proper and right word here is الطلاب. Excellent. وصلت الطالبتان blank خرج blank من الامتحان. In this sentence, what is the suitable word to use in the first blank that would match the feminine dual word الطالبتان? In the second blank, we need to suffix the verb خرج with a suitable pronoun suffix for the dual feminine antecedent. Were you able to find out? Yes, great. وصلت الطالبتان اللتان خرجتا من الامتحان. The suitable relative pronoun here is اللتان. And the second blank gets the feminine dual suffix pronoun ta, and the verb becomes خرجتا. Literally, it means the two female students who exited the test arrived. Better English, the two students who exited the test have arrived. Next. وصلت الطالبات blank خرج blank من الامتحان. Now fill the two blanks in this sentence. Take your time. Okay? Are you done? Here is the answer. وصلت الطالبات اللاتي خرجنا من الامتحان. In this sentence, the suitable relative pronoun here is اللاتي. In the second blank, we need to append the proper pronoun suffix for feminine plural to the verb خرج, and the answer is خرجنا. Literally, it means the female students who exited the test arrived. Better English is the female students who exited the test have arrived. All right, that's it for today. In summary, relative pronouns are connectors between the antecedent in a sentence and the following relative clause that is used to modify the antecedent or the head noun. All of them should match in gender and number. The relative is a noun or a pronoun suffix that is used in the relative clause as an object that refers back to the antecedent, and they both match in gender and number. Well, thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to have you back soon in another grammar lesson.